I think we are live.
Oh, great. I don't feel
So,
any different.
I know. It's kind of magical. So yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. I am Allison Bowman, the Administrative Assistant for the Arts Council of Johnson County. And this is our Creative Conversation series that takes place every Wednesday at 3 p.m. And it's Facebook Live, and it's also recorded, so it plays back on our social media and our YouTube. And today I am here with Emily Behrmann, and she is the Executive Director of the Midwest Trust Center at JCCC. And Emily, thank you for being here. And
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, totally. And I want to give you the opportunity to talk about yourself, and I'll stop talking. So tell us about you.
I have been at the college for a long time. I actually just celebrated my 30th year, and the college gave me a special pen to commemorate that just a couple of weeks ago. So I've been at the college since 1991. I came here, this building that is now called the Midwest Trust Center opened in 1990. So I got here the year after it opened, and I was the volunteer manager for the first 5 years I was on campus. And still enjoy working with our volunteers a lot. But back in those days, you know, this was a brand new place, and we had volunteers helping us usher, and that was the first time that kind of opportunity had been available here in Johnson County. So that's a fun way to start a relationship here at the college. I went on to do fundraising here at the college for 14 years. I worked in the JCCC Foundation office, writing grants, raising money for arts programming, but also for scholarships and programs on campus. And finally was involved in the capital campaign that resulted in the Rainier Center and the Nerman Museum of Contemporary Art. So that was a really high point in that career. And then shortly after that completed, I was asked to return to the performing arts and take on the position doing the programming here in this department.
Awesome.
That's what I'm doing now.
Very cool. Do you have a performing arts background?
I do, actually. I attended the Conservatory of Music and Dance at UMKC. I was a voice major. And during my tenure as a student there, I became interested in arts administration. At that time, there really wasn't a program specifically geared to arts administration, not only at UMKC, but almost anywhere. So I remember telling my dean that I thought I wanted to work behind the scenes. So I was taking a lot of business classes along with completing my my bachelor's in music. And he was like, what are you going to do with that, work in a music store? So, hey, I hope he's out there. You know, I actually am doing what I had hoped to do, which was help connect arts and artists to our community. So I do feel like I have kind of a dream job in what I'm doing currently. But I've always been a singer from the time I was a little child. My family is musical. I still enjoy all kinds of music, which really helps me in my job, obviously in programming events as well.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool to know. I did not know that. So thank you for sharing.
You bet.
Let's see, what else? So you said after you did work for the JCCC Foundation, you came back to the performing arts, and you are you currently doing programming, or do you just kind of oversee everything?
Well, the main part of my job is to choose the artists that come and perform here as part of our performing arts series, or our Midwest Trust Center series. So one of the things that differentiates our program here at the Midwest Trust Center from other arts organizations in Johnson County and in Kansas City is that we're a presenter. So our main mission is to bring touring artists from outside our community to perform in Johnson County. So we're really the only organization in Johnson County that's doing that. There are a couple of other professional arts organizations like the New Theater Restaurant that bring in artists from outside, but they produce those shows. It's not, you know, when we bring in a Broadway tour or another performer, it's all very much self-contained. So we basically load them in and they do their show, and then we load them out, and then they go on to the next place and basically start all over again and repeat that process. So it's really exciting here. What I love about it is no 2 days are alike, pretty much. And then the other part of my job is overseeing the staff here that accomplishes all of that, because I'm part of a wonderful team of folks that help those events happen. And I always give them the credit because they really allow us to pull it off and do it in a very, very professional manner. Artists that have returned to perform with us for the second or third time, usually when they walk out on stage, and this happens, I'm sure, in a lot of venues where they've performed multiple times, they remember our theater immediately. They remember our audiences are very warm and welcoming, and they remember our crew and our staff because they are always feel very well taken care of here. So we're really lucky to have such a strong team, and I'm lucky to be able to be their supervisor for those items. And then the other part of my job is to basically kind of be the face of our organization, both on campus and in the community. So kind of like what I'm doing with you here today. We also collaborate with organizations and departments here on campus to do events. We sponsor events in the community. We've often worked with Interurban Art House and other community organizations like that to just try to spread the love, spread the arts around, and make them available to as many people as we can.
Yeah. And speaking of that, you are also, are you you're on the Lenexa Arts Council as well, correct?
I am. I'm the chair this year.
You are the chair. So do you want to, speaking of spreading the arts in the community, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, sure. You know, I love Lenexa. I have lived there since 2004. And they've always had a very strong connection to the arts. There are several public art pieces in the city. There's been a gallery in City Hall today in the current location at City Center, which is at 87th and 435. But even previous to that, for over 20 years, in the old City Hall on 87th Street. So I was approached, I think it was about 7 years ago, to be a member of the Lenexa Arts Council. And the programs we've done have expanded a lot in the time that I've been part of the council, not just because of me, but I think because we've gotten new people on there, and we've decided, and the city has been supportive of allowing us to kind of expand our horizons. So we currently have a community orchestra that just completed its 5th summer season. We do concerts in the park at Sarco Par Trails Park. We still have our art gallery where we do shows every month. We have City Center Live, which is a collaborative program with the Johnson County Library, and we do live music events at City Center. We do a lot of things all over the community. So it's really been a rewarding experience, and especially because that's the community where I live. That's where I make my home and my life. And I just want to make sure that the arts have a strong presence for everyone in Lenexa. So shout out to all my Lenexa Council members out there.
Yeah, you guys do a good job. I was recently over at City Center. I went to go see the art show, the art gallery show. And I was just blown away. Like, I mean, it was just, if anybody's watching this and needs something to go to the City Center and look at the art, because it's all amazing.
Thank you. Wow. Well, and you know, the show that's up right now will be up through the end of September, and or September 26th or 7th, I believe. It's all Lenexa residents right now. So when you go and view that show, you're looking at people that live right there in Lenexa. And that's not what we do every month. But I'm always like you, I'm blown away by the talent and the creativity that's present right there in our immediate community. It's really a lot of fun. And that gallery is just a beautiful space. The lighting is wonderful. It's, you know, you never feel as though it's crowded or it's just a really nice space. So thanks for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to the Midwest Trust Center, do you have a little bit of background on the history of the Midwest Trust Center? Kind of, touched on it.
I know all the good stuff. I know the dirt on this place. Are you kidding me? One of my first tasks when I took the job back in the early 90s was to do tours. So I have a shtick. I totally do. I'm not going to burden you all with that, of course, today. But the building was constructed in the late 80s, 1988 to 1990, and it was paid for with a bond issue. So back in those days, you used to go out and ask the community to support things with their tax dollars, and they would vote yes. So we are so fortunate. This building was a $22 million project when it went up, and that was paid for with bonds. So after about 4 years, the building was completely paid off. And it was called the Cultural Education Center at that time. And our wing of the building, the east wing, was really the performing arts spaces. The west wing were classrooms and offices. So it was really split between the academic programs and the performing arts. We also house our academic theater program. So they have a dedicated space, the Bodker Black Box Theater, where they have rehearsals and performances, and it's kind of a lab space for them as well. So that has been a great partnership. And so this building was just unique, nothing like it in the county. In many ways, it's still that way. And it was really a great experience to be here, just to see that all at the very beginning, and then to see what it's become today. But we have a nice video on our site that we put together for our 30th anniversary, which unfortunately was 2020. So we all know we weren't here celebrating in 2020, but we did have a little video we put together. And there are photos there of the groundbreaking. And at the time, Dr. Hugh Spear was one of our members of the Board of Trustees, and he had a farm, and he also had a plow that could be pulled by horses, and that's what they used to break ground on this building. So each of the trustees took a turn, steering the plow, and isn't that like so Johnson County, Kansas? I love it. But yeah, it's very unique. No bulldozers, no little shovels, gold shovels. It was all horse and plow driven. So
that's awesome. I'll have to go check that video out. That's really cool. Yeah, is that everything on the history you want to share?
Well, I think so. The building, as I said, was designed different from most things that were out there at that time. It's completely accessible because by the time this building opened, the ADA was fully in effect. So we were also one of the first facilities in Johnson County to be able to boast of being able to be accessible to people with disabilities. The fact that we were able to use the building for students and the community was kind of unique as well. There are brick sculptures in the lobby, which any of you that have been to our building have probably noticed. And those, just like all the bricks on campus, and so almost every building on campus is made of bricks, all of those bricks were made with Kansas clay in Hoisington, Kansas. There's a brick manufacturing facility there. And Donna Doberful, who's the sculptor of the walls here in our building, went to Hoisington and sculpted the bricks while they were wet, and then they fired them to harden them up. They numbered them, they loaded them on a semi-trailer, they brought them up to the college campus. And when the lobby was about half finished, Donna came in to install all those brick sculptures personally, and it took her a few weeks to get it done. But the sculptures in the lobby represent the arts from Greek tragedy all the way through 4 of them in our lower level that are Kansas City jazz musicians.
Oh, cool.
So everything from kabuki theater to Commedia dell'arte to Native American theater. There's just a really nice, diverse variety of images there. So that, again, is something you just don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I love that. So what's my next question? What do you guys have coming up? I know you're starting in-person events. Do you want to talk about kind of your season and what the next thing is for the Midwest Trust Center?
Oh, sure. I might mention that, in the past, one of the things that I think we've emphasized from the beginning is that we try to bring in headliners and Broadway to our space. So in the past, we've brought in Natalie Cole, Lindsey Buckingham, Peter Frampton, Buddy Guy, a wide variety of artists. And so the coming season is much like that. We actually begin this Sunday evening on the 12th of September with Larry Carlson. Larry Carlson was a guitarist with the band Steely Dan for many years. And so his show on Sunday evening will be Steely Dan's '78 album, which was a compilation of their hits up to that time. So if people are rock and roll fans and you like Steely Dan, you like the 70s rock and roll vibe, it's a great show to attend. And then after that, we have a variety of things. So we have our new Dance Partners project coming up next weekend, the 17th and 18th. This is a project we've done. This is our 8th year. We commission work from choreographers that travel to Kansas City, and they set those work on local dancers. And this year we'll be featuring the Kansas City Ballet, Owen Cox Dance Group, Williams Henry Contemporary Dance Company, and Storling Dance Theater right here in Olathe. And those works will premiere on our stage. Then the companies own the works for 2 years, and they can perform them on their own programs whenever they like. Some of them have toured to other cities and performed them in other locations. So we're very proud of that project. We're looking forward to seeing those works premiere. Later this fall, we have a show called Yesterday and Today, an interactive Beatles experience. It features Billy McWiggin and his band. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. But Billy's been doing this show for a long time. He and his brothers and his dad actually formed a band when he and his brothers were kids, and they learned the Beatles catalog because they all knew those songs. His dad knew the songs. So to this day, all of them can play every single song in the Beatles catalog. So it's a request show. They build the set list based on requests that the audience make as they enter the theater. So people that come are asked to write down their favorite Beatles song and why. And then they basically pull these cards out of a hat as they go along, and they read, hey, Allison's here tonight. Her favorite Beatles song is Lovely Rita Meter Maid because, and they give the reason, and then they play the song. So it really personalizes it, and no two shows are alike. They really connect with their audience. And that show kind of represents the sort of I guess, aesthetic we want to create here. We want people to feel engaged and connected in what they see on stage and create a special memory that they can walk away from the evening they've spent with us and, look back on it fondly later on.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And when is that show?
That one is October 24th.
Okay.
And just yesterday, we put tickets on sale for our November and December shows. So because of our current situation with COVID, we're kind of putting things on sale a little bit at a time instead of our entire season all at once. So in November and December, we'll also welcome Darlene Love. We have the Kansas City Jazz Orchestra coming out. Anna Gasteyer will be here. She has been on SNL in the past, and she put out an album in 2019 for the holidays called Sugar and Booze. She'll be doing that tour with us in December. So again, a wide variety of things coming up. And those tickets have just gone on sale for November and December as well.
Cool. Awesome. I think that's a great idea to kind of release things a little bit at a time and see what happens.
Yeah, just see how it goes.
Yeah, everything's kind of uncertain still. So, and I know over the last year or more, you guys did a lot of virtual programs too. How was that? How was that for you guys, making everything virtual?
Well, that I think for all of us, that really stretched us a lot. Our crew, I really have to give them kudos for the last 17 months because these guys, and we have a resident crew here. We have 3 full-time supervisors or crew chiefs, and then we have a pool of part-time stagehands that work with us to bring in everything that we do. So I really feel like we have a really nice group right now. They do great work. But loading in and facilitating a live performance is a lot different than filming or streaming a live performance. So what they did over the past 17 months was to really shift gears and focus on film. And that was something some of them had never done. A couple of our guys actually have film backgrounds or degrees in film, so that helped us a lot. But we filmed our new Dance Partners project last fall, so we were able to go ahead and stage those works. 2 of them were filmed on our stage. 2 of them were filmed in locations off campus or not even in Kansas City.
Mhm.
So again, that was just a very different vibe than things we've done before. We helped several local arts organizations either film educational content that they could then deliver to schools, maintain their relationships with educators. They
Mhm.
normally would be going into schools and doing live performance, but of course they couldn't do that. But this allowed them to stay connected and maintain those relationships. So we want them to be successful. So we wanted to help them accomplish that. Same thing goes for Heart of America Shakespeare Festival. We hired Sydney Garrett and Matt Rapport to come in and direct a performance that we produced and filmed on the Yardley Hall stage. It was A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was available online for about a month
Mhm.
to both of our constituencies for free. And so again, we help support Shakespeare Festival. We help make that art form available to our community. And we created something we wouldn't have been able to do in exactly the same way had we been doing what we normally do. So
Right.
I really feel like we were able to even deepen some of the relationships we have with our local arts community. And, we wanted to lean in and help them do what they could do. And in doing that, help us maintain a relationship to our audience as well. So it's just really a win-win. And
Yeah.
considering the circumstances, I think it worked out well for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, what did I write? Oh, so I was on your website earlier, and this is kind of switching gears, but I noticed a page for Vol Stars, which I'm guessing is like volunteers that are all stars.
You got it. That's exactly right.
Love it. So I was just curious, since you have your new season coming up, you've got a lot of events that are going to be in person. Are you looking for volunteers still to be ushers and that kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely, we are. We're always taking applications for volunteers. Um, and of course, again, things are a little bit different than they usually are. So we do have some training that people have to go through before they can start volunteering for us, but it's better to start sooner rather than later. So there is a link there where you can fill out an application and get in touch with Ebeth Campbell, who is our house and volunteer manager. She'd be happy to answer any questions or address any concerns you might have before you put in your application. And then once you've done that, she'll be in touch with you and get you on the schedule to get your training. And then you can sign up and start to work events shortly after that. So as we kind of climb out of COVID and start doing events again, we absolutely want our volunteers to come right along with us. And we're always looking for new people to add to the roles. So that would be great. Yeah, so please go to jccc.edu Midwest Trust Center, and over in the top right, there's a tab that's about venue, and one of those things under there is about volunteering for us. So we'd love to see you come and do that.
Yeah, cool. That's a great way to get involved, and people can
Yeah.
get involved with the community too. So that's
Right,
awesome.
right.
So let's see. I think my last
What?
question, sort of a
Okay.
question. um, Over the past however many years, the Arts Council of Johnson County has partnered with the Midwest Trust Center to produce and show our live Shooting Stars Gala. And I was just curious if you had any behind the scenes insight of kind of how that goes. Because I started March of 2020, so I have never actually been to or helped with an in-person gala. So
Wow.
this will be my
You're
first
missing
year.
out.
I know. Hopefully we can do it this year, but yeah, curious
Yeah.
on what you have to say about that.
That is probably one of our favorite events that we do here because it really represents the future of our industry. The students that participate in Shooting Stars are passionate about the arts. Many of them go on to have careers in arts or arts administration. And that really is going to keep things going for all of us. We partner here on campus with the Nerman Museum of Contemporary Art. So the visual arts students that are involved have a show, an exhibition that's displayed in the Nerman for 6 weeks. So kids can bring their families to see the art. Even if they can't attend the gala, they are certainly available at that point. And then we move everybody over to Yardley Hall and recognize and award scholarships to the students in the performing arts, in spoken word and in technical theater, as well as the other categories you guys emphasize. It's always just a really happy event. It's really exciting. It's the end of the school year. Students are looking forward to what the future holds. I think their parents are, another milestone has been accomplished, and it's always just a really wonderful family event, and kind of makes the spring special for all of us. So we really enjoy the event, love doing it, love the confetti cannons.
I was just
Don't get to do that very often, and it's messy, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
I'm excited to see it.
Right. There's nothing like experiencing that in person.
Right.
So yeah, so that it's always a really fun event. And there's always some nerves. I think some students are much more accustomed to being on stage than others, and you can kind of see that sometimes. But it's just really great to see them recognized for their creativity and for what they can bring to the arts community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know the past two, I've done two virtual ones. They were both amazing. And I mean, the 2020 gala was already everything was already filmed, and they just kind of had to put it together. But last year it was like completely from scratch. So that was an interesting experience. But I think that our production company, Tico Production, did a really good job of highlighting the students still. So but yeah, I'm excited for this year, hopefully to be in person.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yep. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, before I go, I do want to mention a brand new thing that we're offering this year, which is a new series called the MTC Kids Jam. So this is a Saturday morning performance, 11 a.m. And it starts, let's see, in October with the Okie Dokie Brothers and Sonia de los Santos, and they're doing a program called Somos Amigos, and they explore common ground that people of different cultures have, especially when it comes to music and the arts. These performances are free. There will be 5 of them throughout the season, and it is underwritten by the Hudson Family Foundation this year. So that's how we're able to offer it for free. So tickets are available now for the Okie Dokie Brothers and Sonia de los Santos, and so we hope everybody can come out and bring the kiddos to that as we kick off our MTC Kids Jam. And then we would love to keep it free in succeeding years. So we are currently looking for sponsors for 22 and 23. So if anybody knows anybody that wants to help us with that, we'd love to speak with them. But I want to give kudos to Kara Armstrong, who's our program director for arts education. She has put this together. It's kind of the achievement of a dream she's had since she started with us 3 years ago. And we're really grateful to her for making that happen, along with many other cool things that she's been doing for us during the pandemic and even before that as well. So thanks to Kara, and we hope we see everybody for the MTC Kids Jam.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk to me and tell us about the Midwest Trust Center and your job there. Before we go, is there anything else that we missed or anything you want to add?
I think you've asked all the right questions.
I think we covered a lot.
Everything I wanted to. So I really appreciate the invitation today. Thanks so much for highlighting what we do here at the Midwest Trust Center.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we've concluded episode 2 of season 2. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Allison.